Chapter 4, Sales. This chapter covers sales and operations planning, SOP. Key questions. Key questions. 1. What is sales and operations planning? How does it link with strategic planning and other MPC functions? 2. What are the fundamental activities in sales and operations planning and what techniques can be used? 3. What are the critical issues in developing an effective sales and operations planning function? 4. What is the state of the art in practice? Question 1 is what is sales and operations planning? How does it link with strategic planning and other MPC functions? Sales and operations planning is top management's handle on the business. It provides important visibility of the critical interactions between sales, marketing, production, and finance. If sales and marketing wants higher inventories, but top management decides there is not sufficient capital to support the inventories, the operations plan will be so designed. Once such critical trade-off decisions are made, the operations plan provides the basis for monitoring and controlling manufacturing performance in a way that provides a much more clear division of responsibilities than is true under conventional budgetary controls. Sales and operations planning provides the key communication links for top management to coordinate the various planning activities in a business. These linkages are shown in Figure 4.1. For example, marketing initiatives dealing with the entry of a new product in the market can be coordinated with an increase in manufacturing capacity to support the marketing promotional plans. At the same time, financial resources are coordinated to support the working capital for the buildup of pipeline inventories. 2 key trade-offs to balance. 1. Between supply and demand. 2. Between volume, detailed decisions about which individual products to make, in what sequence, and for which customer orders, and mix, detailed decisions about which individual products to make, in what sequence, and for which customer orders. Smart companies carefully plan their volumes first and then focus on mix decisions. This is done because if volumes are planned effectively, mix decisions become much easier to cope with. Balance supply and demand at the volume level. The operations plan is normally stated in terms of aggregate units of output per month, while the master production schedule, MPS, is stated in terms of end product units per week. The MPS might be stated in units that use special bills of materials to manage complicated options and do not correspond to the units used to communicate with top management. The operations plan is normally stated in terms of aggregate units of output per month, while the master production schedule, MPS, is stated in terms of end product units per week. The MPS might be stated in units that use special bills of materials to manage complicated options and do not correspond to the units used to communicate with top management. The operations plan should be expressed in meaningful and manageable number of units, 6-12 family groups. Operations plan is not a forecast but planned production stated in aggregate units. The MPS must be kept in concert with the operations plan. As the individual daily scheduling decisions to produce specific mixes of actual end items and/or options are made, we must maintain parity between the sum of the MPS quantities and the operations plan. If the relationship is maintained, then hitting the schedule, MPS, means the agreed-on operations plan will be met as well. Question 2 is, what are the fundamental activities in sales and operations planning and what techniques can be used? A formal process for accomplishing sales and operations planning developed by Tom Wallace is shown in Figure 4.2, see Wallace reference for additional details. Types of S&OP strategies. Chase the demand, level workforce, and mixed. Question 3 is what are the critical issues in developing an effective sales and operations planning function? Top management role. Top management's first obligation is to commit to the sales and operations planning process. Functional roles. The primary obligation under sales and operations planning is to hit the plan for all functions involved: manufacturing, sales, engineering, finance, and so on. A secondary obligation is the need to communicate when something will prevent hitting the plan. Integrating strategic planning. An important direction-setting activity, strategic planning can be done in different ways. Some companies approach it primarily as an extension of budgeting. Controlling the operations plan. A special responsibility in sales and operations planning involves control of performance against the plan. Question 4 is, what is the state of the art in practice? The following important principles summarize our discussion. The operations plan is not a forecast, it must be a managerial statement of desired production output. The operations plan should be a part of the sales and operations planning process, so it will be in complete agreement with the other functional plans, sales plan, budget, and so on, that make up the business plan. The trade-offs required to frame the operations plan must be made prior to final approval of the plan. There must be top management involvement in the sales and operations planning process, which should be directly related to strategic planning. The MPC system should be used to perform routine activities and provide routine data, so management time can be devoted to important tasks. The MPC system should be used to facilitate what-if analyses at the sales and operations planning level. Reviews of performance against sales and operations plans are needed to prompt replanning when necessary.